Yeah, it's a different angle. My phone stand, as you know how fantastically well that's been working, it's packed. It's going to the show. And I was just down here doing one last look to see if I needed anything. And I don't know, my mind's completely jumbled up with a whole bunch of stuff. And so yesterday, Wednesday, I left right from work. I loaded the van yesterday with all the boxes and all the stuff that I'm bringing to the show that I could remember. And I got to the show around 5, well, I guess 5:30, 6 o'clock when it officially opens for those pre-registrations, whatever. And a whole bunch of fantastic friends were already there. So it's a win for me. um, and I helped other people with setting up the show a little bit. I tried not to be in the way because I can be in the way. My friend Callum, who is in charge of the entire where all the displays are going to be, the logistics behind that just extraordinary, and he handled it as he always does with like literally everything going back to RTL Toronto competitions where he handled all the logistics and we just kept on picking on him. But he handled it as he always did with fantastic aplomb and grace and style and whatever. And so rearranging tables and blah, 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 getting things done. And then some people needed help bringing in their stuff. Got to bring in their stuff. And so I was doing that for a little bit. And then I unloaded my van. Thanks, Jeffy. Jeffy helped me unload my van. Because he was already there. Jeff is becoming like a convention rat. The old mall rat. Now Jeff's my convention rat. I'm living vicariously through my friend Jeff because he goes to all the conventions. Well, not all of them, but he gets to a lot of them that I don't get to. Just expect to see Jeff. I'm not saying he's going to reach Abner level anytime soon. Abner was there yesterday, and oh my goodness, absolutely. Abner and I have this once a year relationship. We meet in real life, but I've known him for well over 25 years online on the old lug nets and stuff. One of my favorite people. We've had wonderful conversations over the past 2.5 decades. And the first time I actually got to meet him was at Brick Fest 20 plus years ago. Actually, I think it was just 20 years ago. First one I went to. And but again, Jeff went to more Brick Fests than I did. Jeff went to more Brick Fests than I did. Jeff's been to more conventions, Lego conventions, than I have been to, which is not beating me in the number of Lego conventions is not hard. Brick Fest 2004, Brick World 2010. 90 or 85% of the Brick Fets. I didn't get to all of them. And now I think this is my third or fourth Bricks in the Six, maybe third. And there's been more Bricks in the Six, a Brick Assembly, whatever you want to call it. There's been a couple of those that I missed for various reasons. So Jeff, I'm living vicariously through Jeff, so I'm going to call him my convention rat. Living vicariously through. I don't think kids these days understand what mall rats are. It's a term. It's a term from my youth, when the two youths, the youth of the Gen X, hanging out at the mall. There was a movie. I don't even think I've seen it, but there's a movie called Mall Rats. So Jeff helped me significantly yesterday. Thank you, Jeff. And all my stuff that I remembered to bring yesterday was at the show. And then when I was setting things up and organizing things, I realized I forgot some other miscellaneous pieces and parts. And so they're upstairs waiting to go back today. I took today, Thursday, and tomorrow off from work. And so I'll be 100% dedicated to the convention. And I'm going to have a great time. Obviously, I'm already having a great time. Everybody came over to say hi. I got some wonderful hugs and catch-ups with a lot of wonderful people that I've known for a long time, but I only get to see once a year because they have to drive. My good friends from Nova Scotia were there yesterday. A lot of Parliament people were there yesterday. K-Lug. I am very pleased Again, this is 100% Callum, 100% Callum. I'm out in the foyer, you Americans. It's foyer, not foyer, foyer. I'm out in the foyer. And there's Jeff with his castle right dead center in the foyer against the windows. And then there's me, and there's my friend Etienne. so the three of us are right there with the big displays. Which is fantastic. I get to hang out with Jeffy for a weekend, and that's the end. And whoever else is there, I mean, I'm not gonna. Well, I am gonna hide behind my layout. I'm gonna try not to. I need a haircut before I go. I'm gonna try not to 100% hide behind my layout. Like the layout, I will get into in a sec. I'm going to try to mix and mingle, even though that's not normally my style out in public. Like this, I can talk to the cows come home, as you guys well know. But in public. It's 100% different in public. I have such, and this is, I don't know if it's a mental thing or whatever. I have such a bad time remembering people's names that I only see every so often. And but I recognize them. I recognize faces. I recognize people from my youth. Hey, how's it going? I can't remember your name. So people, hey Dave, have you seen Sue? I'm going, who's Sue? I don't know. I know my Aunt Sue and friends from work Sue. But because they see me at conventions all the time, and the expectation is not an unwarranted expectation that I should remember people's names. I just since I was a kid, I do not remember people's names. Every time I start a new job, it takes me a year, at least a year, to get to know the people in my close proximity at the office, and then it just becomes whatever. So I do apologize in advance, as I do, because I'm not. I don't know what it is. Since I was single digits, I've always had a tough time remembering people's names. It's never been something that my brain has been adept to. And yet I can talk your ear off about the history of Lego, especially where classic space is concerned. Anyway, so yeah, I apologize for that. So that was a quick tangent. So the layout itself. So I got there before 6, just a little before 6. I was helping Graham, I was helping Callum, I was helping whoever needed help moving in. So I didn't actually start unloading my van until I think after 8 p.m. And in any normal circumstance, the layout does take approximately 2 hours to set up. And that's with everything there. One of my issues this time, of course, I'm modifying the layout. You've seen me work on it. Not a huge modification, but I'm modifying the layout. And I will say, after Niagara Falls Comic Con, the layout didn't go down nicely. It didn't. I guess maybe I was in such a rush, and there's the storm outside and blah, blah, blah. I mentioned that. The layout did not go down nicely. There was some broken wiring, which I didn't have to worry about at Jamie's shop, so I didn't worry about it at Jamie's shop. There was some broken wiring, some life lights that wires were ripped out of sockets and stuff like that, because I don't know why. That was 100% me. There's no other fault here. 100% my fault that some wiring got severely damaged in that. But after Niagara Falls, I said, oh yeah, I have to look at that. And then I went to Jamie's shop for a bunch of months, and I said, oh, look at when it comes back. And then, of course, I was doing all the other stuff to get ready for the show. And I didn't really have access to fix the wiring because, again, the boxes are in the garage, piled deep in the garage. And so I was more focused on building and fixing the builds that people see than worrying about the wiring that people don't see. So when I got there yesterday, and I'm setting it up, and I'm testing, and I cannot, and this is going to be a massive overhaul. I cannot believe how many life lights I have on the layout. And it's not the problem with the life lights, it's the problem of setting up, take down, set up, and drilling through base plates and running wires through. Like, it wasn't, here's my problem. Back this up. I have a concept, and I want to test a proof of concept, and then, like the wooden boxes, I went out and bought really good quality plywood to build the wooden box, the first one, to test the proof of concept. And then I tested it, and it worked, and then I just went out and bought crappy plywood for the rest of it. And I mean, nobody can tell which one's the good one and the other 7 are the bad ones. But I can tell because they're getting more damaged and dinged up, and cheaper plywood falls apart a lot easier than good plywood. So it's like, I put the effort into it to get it done instead of to make it quote unquote as close to perfect as possible. So when I did the wiring, and you can go way back in my YouTube and find where I first lit up the landing pads, and I meticulously ran the wires to the landing pad, and then it worked. And I said, this is awesome. And then of course I had to do 30 more landing pads, and they just slap it together. And then you put it out there, and I cannot be surprised that some of the lights aren't working anymore. So I will have to take off all the landing pads and redo all the lights. I'll probably have to make a nice order to Rob for more life lights, just the life lights themselves, because the bricks are fine, the basics and the advanced bricks are fine. It's the way I ran the wires, and they're all kinked and they're all bent and blah blah blah, and so I'm not surprised at all that they're not working. And even my light stanchions that light up the lining pads from the top, I kind of threw those together really quickly, and I didn't necessarily leave enough wire and blah blah blah. I just kind of get it done because I got a show. So I am going to, at some point between shows, not over winter because I got a million things to do around here, but at some point I'm going to just go one module at a time, one thing at a time. I redid the engineering bay, the repair bay, which was what it needed. And that's the other thing, I couldn't find my I have to remember myself, I'm sure I got it packed, the rack. So I couldn't find it when I was setting it up yesterday, and the layout's not fully set up yet. So anyway, the wiring I was fixing, so I had to get the soldering iron out. I had to so that delays it. And so as I went through and fixed the setting up layout, I meticulously took my time, and I was really taking my time putting a layout up yesterday, fixing things and rewiring things and soldering wires and blah blah blah. So it was about 11:30, and I had just put down the train track, and so I haven't even got the monorail track on there yet, or the rest of the tower. But I did find out, because I thought I fixed properly, and I thought I took my time on it. The extension wires and all the life lights 120 volt kits, and 4 out of the 5 worked perfectly fine. The other 5th one's dead. So obviously between then and now, the connectors that I made broke, and now the layout set up, and I'm gonna have to now jury rig or fix however I'm going to fix it, the light. I'm going to have to snip the ends and resolder the connectors and stuff like that, which is going to be time consuming today, but that's fine. That's part of the gig. That's part of the gig. And this is why I'm glad I went yesterday, because had I done it today, then I'd be even well behind, and I'd be like setting the thing up into tomorrow and Saturday. I'm getting emails. That doesn't matter. I'm going to say the layout itself, I just honestly love it. I honestly love the layout. I love modifying it. But as I'm putting it together, oh, that's why I did this, and that's why I did that. And I remember the things, as the good stuff that I remember why I did things the way I did things. I also should take a notepad, because again, I can't remember people's names. I can remember, I forgot about the wiring. And what was that? I was waiting, I was examining it. Was this piece of broken? Like, again, I did this back in Niagara Falls Comic Con. I'm taking the thing apart and I'm going, was this the broken piece? No, it's working. And then, when am I going to hit the broken pieces? And then I hit the broken pieces. So I should actually bring a notepad or a clipboard or something, or hey, Siri, whatever, and say, here's my notes for the layout, setup and takedown of the show and what's wrong. But I don't do that. I've been thinking about that, just like the seek and finds that Jeff, inspired me to do, that we had talked about in 2007, that I kept on meaning to do, and I never got around to it. So it's like, there's a list, there's a litany, and that's probably why I'm not good with people's names. The brain doesn't stop. Thinking all the time about a whole bunch of stuff, and so I should actually just focus and get things written down so I can fix things when I know they're broken, and have a list of it. But again, that's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to go there today, this morning. This is early, well, not early morning, but I'm going to go there today after I get everything situated here. I'm doing some laundry right now, and I'm gonna just continue to set up and say hi to people, and I'm trying to come up with a nice, polite way of saying I adore you, I know you. We've done a lot of shows together, but I don't remember your name. Because how do you say that in polite conversation? Because I feel bad because I want to talk to them, and I want them to feel like they're seen, and I do know from myself. If somebody forgets your name, you feel like you haven't been seen. And yet I see them and I know what they did and I know where we see them from and all the fun we share and the stories we have, but I just have a tough time with the name. So that's a me thing. And so it's something I've wrestled with literally my entire life, even as a little kid. And it takes me a while to remember people. Like, you come into my class, the new kid, the teacher always calls them up by name anyway, so that was easier when we were in school. But friends and work especially, like, oh, Dave, and they walk around the building and you get to shake 50 people's hands, and hey, I'm not gonna remember your name at all. So, and then it takes me a year to, oh yeah, that's Nick, that's Joe, that's whatever. I don't know what that is. It's just something. Anyway, we don't have to talk about that. I am getting stuff ready for the show. And I'm going to, I don't think I see anything else here that I need to bring. I'm just looking at my life flights kits over there, over there. But I already took care of, I think all the life flights are working. And yeah, that's it. I hope to see you there if you can make it. If you're not, it's fine. I'm gonna be there every day between now and Sunday, and on public days I usually do make my presence known. I usually stand by the layout because I love the questions and I love interacting with public, and I'm trying to make a worthy display for people to see and to enjoy the show, be a value-added service to the show. But I also know that I'm going to be there to help Callum. I'm going to be there to help Graham. I'm going to be there to help Jeffy, whatever anybody needs. And that's it. That's all. Everybody stay safe. Take care. I'm sure I'm going to do some shows, movies, or videos. I'm not going to be one of these influencers walking around, but I am going to do some videos. But my focus right now is to get the layout, obviously get the layout up and working, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. As soon as it gets up, I'm going to have to do the reprogramming of the RCXs and stuff. So, oh, by the way, speaking of which, even though I didn't have the rack, the second I got the base of the tower done, I plugged the door into the RCX and worked perfectly fine. I just have to figure out where I'm going to put the hand swipe thing, which is what I'll need some parts for now that I think about it. So, in the end, you guys all stay safe, take care, and I will talk to you soon.